In this video, we're going to focus on taking the rule and creating our own sequence. As you can see, we've moved inside. That wind was a little bit extra. So let's focus on starting with our first problem here. We've got start at 10 and 64 hundredths and subtract 1 and 45 hundredths. So that's our rules. We're going to have to make it work. So our first number, of course, is going to be 10 and 64 hundredths. And then it says to subtract 1 and 45 hundredths. So I'm just going to do that. We've got 10 and 64 hundredths, magical decimal line down. And we're going to subtract 1 and 45 hundredths. Let's go ahead and subtract that. I know I can't say 4 minus 5. I have to borrow from the 6, make that a 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Now I've got 5 minus 4 is 1. Can't say 0 minus 1, so I got to borrow from this 1. Make that a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Follow that magical decimal line. I've got 9 and 19 hundredths. Let's go ahead and write that down. And then we just keep going. I'm just going to make my magical decimal line bigger, my picture a little bit smaller. And we will just keep on working our way down. All we're going to do again is subtract 1 and 45 hundredths. So minus 1 and 45 hundredths. We are just creating that sequence. 9 minus 5 is 4. We have to borrow, make that an 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. And 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 and 74 hundredths. And we have to keep it going one more time. So again, all we're going to do is subtract 1 and 45 hundredths. We have to borrow 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 6 minus 4 is 2. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 and 29 hundredths. And that's our answer for the first problem. We had to fill in 4 blanks, and we had to start with the number they already gave us. So in reality, we only had to find 3 numbers. So let's go ahead and work on the next one. The next one says start at 19 and 3/10 and add 1 and 8/10. So I know I'm going to go ahead and start at 19 and 3/10. And we're going to move over here. We're going to say 19 and 3/10. Magical decimal line. I'm going to draw it pretty long because I know that's what I'm going to do. And add 1 and 8/10. I think where you're going to get tripped up around here is just figuring out whether you're adding or subtracting and remembering that. Because, I messed up on that before, so I know we all do it. So let's go ahead and add 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 21 and 1/10. And let's do it again. Add 1 and 8/10. 8 plus 1 is 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring down that 2. 22 and 9/10. Let's do it again. Add 1 and 8/10. 9 plus 8. So I know that 8 plus 8 is 16. So 8 plus 9 is going to give me 17. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. Bring down the 2. 24 and 7/10. That's our problem. Let's do one more together or 2 more. 2 more together. 2 more together. I hope you're working this out with me, even though I'm not asking you for the answer, because I want you to be able to do it. Let's start at 87 hundredths and add 2 and 15 hundredths. So we're going to start at 87 hundredths and add 2 and 15 hundredths. All we're going to do is add 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, and that's 3. I forgot my magical decimal line. I'm going to put it in just to check and make sure. Yep, I'm good. 3 and 2 hundredths. I'm going to continue that magical decimal line quite a bit down because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to add 2 and 15 hundredths again. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1, 5. 5 and 17 hundredths. And we're going to add 2 and 15 hundredths again. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3, 7. 7 and 32 hundredths. I know you, and I bet you've probably got this. So we're going to skip that last one and go ahead and move on to some fill in the blanks before we move into the really challenging problems, the word problems. Those are going to be your next video before we get to practice together.